A bright young student, a foreign city filled with promise, a locked bedroom, and a brutal murder that would ignite one of the most infamous trials of the 21st century. This is the story of Meredith Kercher, the victim at the center of an international storm. A case where truth and perception blurred, leaving the world asking, was justice ever truly served? Meredith Kercher, just 21 years old, had traveled from the UK to Italy in 2007. She wanted adventure, culture, and the experience of living abroad. She settled in Perugia, a picturesque hilltop town known for its students and nightlife. Bright, responsible, and full of life, Meredith quickly built friendships and immersed herself in her studies. But on the night of November 1st, her life would be violently cut short. The next morning, Meredith's British friends arrived to find something terribly wrong. The front door was wide open. Inside, her bedroom door was locked. No one answered. Concern turned to panic. When police forced entry, they found Meredith's body lying on the floor, covered in blood. She had been stabbed multiple times. The room showed signs of a violent struggle. The horror sent shockwaves through Perugia, and within days, it captured headlines worldwide. Investigators quickly turned their focus to the people closest to Meredith. Among them was Amanda Knox, Meredith's American roommate. Just 20 years old, Knox had recently arrived in Italy for her own study abroad experience. She was outgoing, quirky, and in the eyes of the media, too carefree. Knox's boyfriend, Raffaele Solicito, was also questioned. Their behavior, kissing outside the crime scene, appearing oddly calm, struck investigators as suspicious. Soon both were arrested, accused of participating in Meredith's murder. What followed was not just a criminal investigation, but a media circus unlike anything Italy had seen. Headlines painted Knox as Foxy Knoxy, a manipulative femme fatale who lured men into violence. Paparazzi swarmed the courthouse. Every gesture, every smile, every tear was dissected. For prosecutors, Amanda's eccentric personality became part of the case itself. Was she a naive student or a dangerous killer? Meanwhile, Meredith, the true victim, faded into the background, overshadowed by the spectacle. Prosecutors argued that Knox, Solicito, and another man, Rudy Gued, had been involved in Meredith's murder. Gued, an Ivorian man with a criminal history, admitted being at the scene but denied killing her. His DNA was found on Meredith's body and in the room. He would eventually be convicted of the murder. But the case against Knox and Solicito hinged on controversial evidence. DNA traces on a kitchen knife from Solicito's apartment. A bra clasp from the crime scene allegedly linking Solicito. And Knox's own conflicting statements during interrogation. The defense argued the evidence was contaminated, mishandled, and unreliable. Yet prosecutors insisted it was enough for conviction. In 2009, Amanda Knox and Raffaele Solicito were found guilty of murder and sexual assault. Knox was sentenced to 26 years in prison. Solicito received 25. The verdict split public opinion. To some it was justice served. To others it was a miscarriage of justice, fueled more by tabloid headlines than hard facts. But the story was far from over. In 2011, an appeals court overturned the convictions. Independent experts testified that the DNA evidence was deeply flawed. Contamination, improper collection methods, and lack of reliability cast major doubts on the prosecution's case. Knox and Solicito walked free after spending 4 years behind bars. The media frenzy reignited. Some celebrated their release as proof of innocence. Others insisted they had escaped justice. In 2013, Italy's highest court shocked the world by reinstating the guilty verdict. Knox, back in the United States, refused to return to Italy. The legal battle stretched on, with appeals, retrials, and reversals, until finally, in 2015, Italy's Supreme Court acquitted Amanda Knox and Raffaele Solicito once and for all. The judges admitted mistakes had been made, evidence had been mishandled, the case had become clouded by media obsession and prosecutorial bias. Only Rudy Good remained convicted, serving time for Meredith's murder. Today, Amanda Knox lives in the U.S., a writer and advocate for wrongful convictions. Raffaele Solicito lives quietly in Italy. Rudy Guedi was released in 2021 after serving most of his sentence. And Meredith Kercher? She is remembered by her family as a bright, kind, and promising young woman, a life stolen far too soon. But her memory often feels overshadowed by the spectacle that followed. The murder of Meredith Kercher remains one of the most debated true crime cases of our time. It exposed the dangers of media sensationalism, the fragility of forensic evidence, and the human cost of rushed judgments. At the center of it all was a young woman who never got to finish her journey. This case is a haunting reminder of how fragile trust can be, and how easily truth can be lost in the noise. Subscribe for the full story of real crimes that shocked the world.